Hey guys, welcome to Titanium Tuesdays on Propelio TV. I'm your host, RJ Bates, with my partner, Cassie DeHaas, and our special guest, all the way from Billings, Montana, Jordan Stanley Payne. Today we're going to be talking about organic market domination, specifically diving into the marketing that you're doing for your real estate investing business. Stay tuned and we will be right back after these messages. All right, guys, welcome back to Titanium Tuesdays. Jordan, how you doing, buddy?
Phenomenal, man. Doing really good.
Thank you for coming all the way down from Montana. You came down early. You've got your event, the Kingdom Connect, going on in Dallas. But you purposely came down early just for this today.
I wanted to get warmer. And wanted to make sure I came in and supported you guys. And love the show and love what you guys are all doing.
Awesome, man. And you're also going to be joining us tonight at the what I call the Propelio event, but I guess the technical name is the DFW REI meetup. So if you're local here in DFW, please come and join us tonight. We've got some amazing speakers: Sean Whalen, Steve Cook. We're even going to have Grant Kemp up there for a little bit, and some guy with a big beard is going to be the MC tonight. So, and Jordan will be there as well. So come find him. So. Today we're talking about organic market domination. So this is like something that you're pretty passionate about, something that you've taught a lot of people. Take a second to kind of briefly give an overview of what that means.
A lot of people, when it comes to marketing and when it comes to the way that they do something, they have no clue why. They watched a YouTube video, they follow somebody on Facebook, and they automatically assume that because somebody else did it some way or they heard it some way, that's the correct way to do it. So about a year and a half ago, I started just myself questioning, man, why do people market this way? Why do people say I buy houses cash rather than a different phrase? And that's kind of where it started, and it really got me thinking, and I started this little personal journey of trying to understand marketing better in real estate.
Gotcha. So I know you've kind of broken it into 3 specific steps.
Yeah.
And this is something that you've kind of come up with on your own and through your own trial and error, correct?
Trial and error, a lot of books read, a lot of content purchased and gone through, and really have spent the last year and a half kind of studying marketing.
Gotcha. So I know that's one of the questions that you always ask people is, who taught you how to market for your business? Why do you feel like that's important?
There's a huge difference between I'm a real estate investor and I'm in marketing. A lot of people differentiate the two, and I really don't think that's accurate. So I think
absolutely not accurate. I mean, as investors, we are marketers.
Right, 100%. So if marketing is the lifeblood of any business, why is that not focused on primarily?
Right.
You know, why do some people just do what everyone else is doing, rather than spending the time and the money and learning the actual systems?
So what kind of advice would you give people that are either getting started or this is immediately like speaking to them, where it's like, you're absolutely right, like, I'm a really good investor, but I'm struggling with lead gen and I'm not a good marketer. Where do you suggest they get started in this journey of trying to become a better marketer?
I say question everything. Question everything about what you think is right or wrong when it comes to marketing and business in general. I started doing that, and it really just kind of took me down a rabbit trail.
So I think it's funny you say it, question everything, because I think as real estate investors, we are like the prototypical copycats. Like I do it myself. Like I see, someone like Alex Saenz out in Phoenix, Arizona, who is, 21, 22 years old, something like that, and he's crushing it with cold calling.
Sure.
So that immediately means, I want a cold call. I want to know his script. I want to know everything that he's doing. Whereas I don't really actually know the ins and outs of his business.
Right.
And I don't really know how he learned cold calling or if it's actually successful. I just know what I see on social media. So you're absolutely right in question everything. Is that kind of what you're talking about there, and questioning everything that you see?
Question everything and understand what relates to you and your business. In Montana, what works for me might be radically different than what works for you.
Right.
So, absolutely. I think RJ says it really well, and I think there's a lot of psychology behind all of this. So I've been so excited to dig into what you have studied and everything like that. But like RJ always says, find your unique ability and find your strengths, and I think you really have to play off of that. But I think people do that individually really well, but not necessarily always as a business. You know, like what is your team's strong suit? Like where do you thrive? Where do you need to work? And that really goes into play in this as well.
Well, one of the things so for those that don't know, Jordan is the main leader or one of the leaders of the Kingdom, which is a family of investors, entrepreneurs, and their core focus is on finding freedom, creating freedom for yourself, whatever it is. And one of the things that y'all teach is don't necessarily always make a cash offer.
Right.
There's other ways to solve the motivated seller, whatever it is, business, real estate, whatever it is, to solve their problem. And it's funny you brought that up. Why do we always say we buy houses cash? So I guess let's start with the first step. What is, we have the 3 steps of your focus here. What's the first step that you have?
So I want to take a step back to take a leap forward if I can. Part of what I realized was marketing goes in trends. Everybody knows that. That's not some huge secret. But if you look at real estate, the I buy houses cash or we buy houses cash, that copywriting, the yellow paper, the fake handwritten letter, that's 33 years old. 33 years old.
Right.
So for 33 years, investors, specifically in real estate, have been using the exact same color, font, and message, and it's like, man, that really makes no sense. So that was kind of the starting point to that. You look at any successful company over the past 20, 30 years, has their marketing changed?
Right.
It has, but when it comes to real estate, it really hasn't much.
Absolutely.
The first step that I like to tell people, I call it seducing the gatekeeper. And the idea is, would we rather try to reach 10,000 people or 10 people? Now in real estate, people automatically think, well, 10,000 people sounds way better. That's exactly what I want to do, because if I reach 10,000 people, I'm automatically going to get all of these people that are motivated and ready to go. In my business, I market to 10 people, and I get better leads, better quality, and do more deals that way. Because I'm seducing the gatekeeper that has access to a lot of people. So a quick example, we were just talking about church and pastors a little bit ago. If you wanted to reach a mega congregation, like TD Jakes is here in Dallas.
Right.
If you wanted to reach all of TD Jakes' congregation, would you try to go approach them one by one individually, or would you try to sit down with TD Jakes?
Right, absolutely, TD Jakes.
So when it comes to marketing, that's exactly what I've done. I'm not trying to reach the masses. I'm reaching 1 or 2 specific people that have a key influence and are the gatekeepers of their congregation. If you wanted to reach the Kingdom, you'd reach out to me or Todd, right?
Right.
Same thing that way.
So when you're talking about specifically in real estate investing or buying a business, are you talking about going to wholesalers? Or are you talking about realtors? What is the gatekeeper in specifically in real estate investing?
So there's a couple that I primarily use. For me, mainly, 9 out of 10, it's property management.
Okay.
So they are the gatekeeper, and they often manage hundreds, if not thousands, of units.
Right.
So rather than trying to reach all of their people, I build a relationship with them, because through my marketing research, I found out that 20%, they have a 20% retention. So annually, they lose 20% of their customers.
Right.
Now, if you own a property management company and you're looking at your books and your bottom line and you're saying every single year I'm losing 20% of my customers, and then RJ shows up and says, let me solve that problem for you.
Right. So, I think this is something that people discuss. I've heard people talk about going to property management companies and trying to get them to introduce you to what they would consider a motivated seller who's one of their clients. What is the best approach to go to them and kind of explain how you're going to solve their problem?
Yeah, you stop asking for something and say, well, this is what I can give.
Right.
Right. A lot of people, they'll call a property management company, they'll go try to sit down with them, and they say, give me. I want motivated sellers, I want buyers, I want all this, and I want you to do that for me. My approach was, this is what I can do for you. I'm a business owner, you're a business owner. I know that retention's a problem. What if I could solve that for you?
Right.
And that, to me, has been a better approach than, hey, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want.
So say you go to the property management company and that property manager brings you, multiple deals that you end up keeping for yourself.
Yep.
Are you keeping those properties with that property manager?
Absolutely.
And so that's where you're making it a reciprocal relationship at that point in time. I think this is extremely important. I think I even talked about this in the Kingdom Facebook group recently, whereas I was getting a bunch of people that were approaching me saying, hey, I want to help you, but they weren't actually bringing any value. They were just kind of opening themselves up to help me. And once you get to a certain level of business volume, I don't have the time to explain to you how you can help me.
Right.
You need to take all the time and content that we put out there, where it's these videos right here, speaking on stage, just our normal post on Instagram and Facebook and wherever.
Yeah.
I'm showing you what I need. And so it goes further than just the property management companies, but it goes across the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like core values, except for there's just core principles and how you carry out your business.
For sure.
It's more than just like a core value. So I kind of differentiate it like that, but it is at the core of everything we do. So how we proceed through our business, you have to add value and create those relationships. And RJ and I talk about this all of the time because people always ask us about, how do you guys have these branches in other markets? And it's about adding value into that relationship. Same concept. And I think that if you're doing that, we talked a little bit, we talked a whole episode a couple weeks ago about our partnership. And one of the things I think we don't explain to people very well is that's why it's very hard for us to define. It's whenever you said, I'm kind of the leader, one of the leaders, it's very hard for us to define roles within our business, because it's just another example of how we carry that principle, and we always have carried that principle in everything we do between our partnership, where am I needed? How do we progress forward? What do you need to be doing? What do I need to be doing?
Yeah.
How do we add value to each other and hit the end goal together? It's in every relationship that we do.
That's like the guru thing, the add value, that whole thing.
Right.
Right. So for me, the gatekeepers
Pardon thing.
that thing. For me, the gatekeepers are property management as the number one. The exact same pitch is for title companies.
Yep.
I talked to one of our gals in Billings, and she said up to 40% of their deals that come to their table don't close.
Wow.
40%. So if I could just solve that problem for her,
Right.
and get it down to 30% or 20%, what am I doing?
Yeah.
That value thing, right?
Yeah, you're
So-
exponentially helping their business.
So if you can learn how to solve people's problems with maybe it didn't close because there's a judgment, right? Maybe the financing didn't go through. Maybe during the inspection they found a crack in the foundation and the bank bailed, right? For whatever reason, there's about 40% of their deals don't go through. If you're a title company, you're getting paid specifically to close deals.
Right.
So those are my main two. A lot of times I throw in there's a couple lawyers that we work with, a divorce attorney.
Right.
They're not in real estate. They don't know what to do with it, other than just list it on the MLS. They don't know.
Right.
So again, my question was, would you rather reach 10,000 people or 10 people? I specifically reach 10 people, and I've got all of the leads I can deal with, and there's a big difference here. They're hot leads.
Absolutely.
Right? If you go and refer somebody to me or Cassie,
Right.
they trust you, they know you. So when I hear people saying, I'm going to cold call, I'm going to cold door knock, I'm going to cold ringless voicemail, if it has the word cold in it, I don't do it, because the hot leads and the relationship that I've built with those guys, they're saying, dude, you've got to call Jordan.
Well, it's also valuing your time and your money. I mean, you're probably your cost per acquisition or cost per lead is probably far lower, really, because a lot of these there's probably no cost associated. You're just reaching out and it's referral based. Fellow member of the Kingdom, Lawrence Fuller, says, "Amazing how real estate is not about real estate but problem solving. One business owner helping and adding value to another business owner. The seeds planted and produce the results. #basics. #think about it." And By the way, Lawrence is going to be speaking this
Yeah.
weekend at the Kingdom Connect, as well as myself and Cassie and Jordan. So if you're not going to be there, definitely reach out to Jordan. We'd love to have you guys join us this weekend. But, you know, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. You're a polarizing figure in the real estate investing world. And I think a lot of times it's because you choose to talk about things outside of real estate. And just like what you were just talking about, I mean, for some people, I think they don't have the ability to listen long enough to hear truly one of the best golden nuggets that we've had on Titanium Tuesdays. I mean, you just flat out told everybody here, you have a problem in marketing, you have a problem with lead gen. Here's your solution.
Yeah.
Go create a relationship with a property management company and a title company. If you don't see how that's going to solve your problem with lead gen, I mean, you're just missing the boat.
What's the alternative, though? How many real estate investors are in Dallas-Fort Worth?
So what?
5,000, 10,000?
Literally every single person in DFW.
Give me a number, 10,000?
Well, we have 40,000 in our buyers list.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, this ain't Montana, friend.
Yeah, we got 3. It's me. I'm going to use the number 10,000, and let's just say that a traveling guru comes through and talks about list source. Okay.
Right.
So you got 10,000 people buying the same list on list source, sending the exact same letter. It's the BS, the yellow. I buy houses cash with a fake handwritten font. I'm a seller, and I'm in a bad situation.
Right.
And I just got 500 identical pieces of marketing.
Right.
That all said the exact same thing. I'm probably thinking, man, there's something weird going on here.
Do you know what we call that here?
What's that?
We call it the yellow letter lottery.
Yeah.
I mean, because it is. I mean, here, when you go to a home, when you do direct mail and you go to a home, they'll literally have a stack. I mean, this thick, just sitting there. We have people, I've seen posts all the time where it's, you know, I've seen people, oh, hey, Jason McDougal, I saw your postcard, I got the contract, and then Jason's like, oh, that sucks, why didn't they call me? And it's like, you just see all of the postcards, and even as an investor, now we get them ourselves. You know, I mean, now they're starting to mail them because we're stuck on the old list of ListSource.
Well, what's really strange and interesting to me is, like, it's always that question because you never know, but you have those situations. And what's really funny is, like, different people with different strategies. Like, for example, our boy Tang, like, one of their guys left a door knocker on my personal home one day. And it's because I had, you know, that saying where, you know, the maid never has a clean house.
Right.
So I have a few roof shingles that happen to be missing that I need to get fixed. But for whatever reason, because they have a different strategy than a lot of people in DFW that they're like super, super strong about. And so it's really interesting. So you have like the people who have stacks and stacks. And then, but you also are led to believe, but if I niche this right, I can, you know, I can be the one that stands out at least. Maybe they won't have a stack, maybe they'll just have 3 and so on.
I think the best part about what you're talking about here is a direct mail lead from ListSource could be a hot lead.
Sure.
But you are the cold part.
Right.
With a property management company, say I'm using property management right now. I'm going to use a personal example of mine, okay? I own a property in Jackson, Mississippi. There is nothing that could happen today that would make me happier than someone buying that piece of shit in Jackson, Mississippi, okay?
I beg to differ with that comment, but
business-wise, okay? So if someone were to buy that property, now who would know that I want to sell that property if I had property management?
Exactly.
The property manager. They now, if they said, hey, Jordan is a buddy of mine and he wants to buy properties in Jackson, I trust him, talk to him. There is nobody else I'd rather talk to than you.
Exactly.
Especially if there's distress on it.
Right.
I'll give you a real world example. We had a 15 unit that we just sold, thank you Jesus. But last year and a half ago, I had a $20,000 plumbing issue.
Right.
Now, if I was that title company about to call Jordan and break the news to him, but I just talked to RJ and he's like, dude, I'm desperate for 15 units in Laurel, Montana.
Right.
I might break the news a little bit different. Hey, look, there's this huge problem. It's going to cost you $25,000. There is another option, though. I do know somebody that's actively looking.
Right.
So that's, I mean, I get so much freaking business just from these people. And again, it's hot. It's not cold because
Right.
they already had a relationship with the property management company.
It's so hot, the deal's almost done.
Yeah.
As long as you can
Yeah.
just work the numbers, it's almost done.
And the property management company already knows the rent roll. They already know blah, blah, blah. They know it all.
That
Right.
is actually
So-
really beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and address this question from Ronnie Hale. He wants to know, what is this Kingdom Connect you speak of? So take the stage, tell everybody about what's going on this weekend.
Yeah, Kingdom Connect was started really after myself and some others spending tens of thousands of dollars on what I call cold, bland, lifeless, AA-styled masterminds, where you feel like you're getting spoken at and not having a conversation. The conferences that come through town, obviously have some value, but we really wanted to create a collaboration and a way that people could connect on a deeper level. So Connect, we normally rent out mansions and compounds. We try to bring in people that are actual investors rather than just a paid speaker, and we do anywhere between 3 and 5 days straight. We've got one coming up this weekend, the 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's out of town a little ways, but that was really the vision, is how do we connect on a deeper level rather than just sitting in a packed auditorium being spoken at and never have an opportunity to actually connect with the speakers.
So Julia Payne says your sock game's on point. So
It sure
apparently,
is.
apparently sock game is important up in.
She's my wife. She has to say that.
Oh, okay.
No,
there you
she
go.
probably bought them for you. Did you buy them yourself?
I don't remember.
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together with the last name. I'm
You
sorry,
didn't?
Julia. I didn't.
Because I didn't have her Facebook picture right there.
But Ryan put that together.
I knew
so
who it was.
Anyway, so let's move on. So seducing the gatekeeper. That's point number 1.
Yep. Great
Gold nugget. If you didn't catch that, essentially go straight to the source of hot leads. Property management company, title companies. Great tips there. Let's move on to the second part of your 3-step process you've got going on here.
So I call it leveraging the boneheads.
Okay.
You can call them. You can call them whatever you want. Essentially, I realized a while ago that I'm really lazy and I really like money. So a lot of people they do direct mail, they do driving for dollars, they do cold calling, ringless voicemails, they go to the courthouse, they pull a list, all of that, right? I realized a while ago that there's no way in hell that I'm going to do that, right? So I figured out a way to leverage all of the boneheads in my market. These are oftentimes wholesalers and sometimes real estate agents that they want to get started in real estate. They're excited, they're fired up, they want to make some money. And I simply just help them do that by giving them a little bit of direction. So I know exactly where I want to buy, just like you guys do.
Right.
So I found these people that want to get in the game, and I said, look, this is what you're going to do. I want you to go drive north of I-90, west of Park Street, and I'm looking for multifamily. Go get me a list of 100 properties this month.
Awesome.
Guy number 2, bonehead number 2. I want you to send out a list to blah, 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 blah. Guy number 3, I want you to go to the courthouse, pull all the probate, pull all the et cetera. So I leverage, again, right around 10 different wholesalers that all are marketing to, I try to get them to have 1,000 touches a month. Well, you do the math on that.
Right.
So between seducing the gatekeeper and between helping other people achieve their goal, my marketing is really, really set.
So let's talk about this, because you're telling a wholesaler what you want, or a realtor what you want.
Yes.
You're giving them your criteria. So at that point in time, all they have to do is go find the deal and really build in whatever profit they want for themselves.
Sure.
So you're essentially creating an army for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,000 touches, you have 10 people, that's 10,000 touches a month. And you're like one of 3 investors in Montana.
Right? There's not many. Yeah, so I mean,
There's only 10 people in Montana, aren't there?
and three of those are cows. So. It's been really, really effective to me because these guys want to get started. They want to make money. I pay them very well.
Right.
So I basically built a system that I can plug them into to allow them to build their own business.
Gotcha. So let's talk about specifically from a wholesaler, or let's go ahead and address what some people might be thinking, like this is almost insulting, like, leverage the Bonehead. But for anybody that's been in this business for a while, we all start off as Boneheads.
Yeah.
I wish I would have
I'm
had
still a bonehead.
I wish I would have had a you telling me specifically, like, go to this area, I want this property and these numbers.
Yep.
I mean, that's an amazing thing. So not only are you creating an amazing asset to your business, but you're a huge asset to their business and their individual.
I have something that they don't have, and that's relationship. So if I can't buy it, I've already established a relationship with the other buyers in the market, all three of them.
Right.
Right? So I've got something a lot of times that they don't have. And if you're a wholesaler watching this, relationship, the most important thing you can have is the relationship with your buyers.
Right.
If you're a wholesaler, that's my advice. But myself as a buyer, I also had relationship with the other guys. So it really is one-stop shop. If I can't buy it, I've got you taken care of.
Right. Well, let's go ahead and address like something that gets brought up all the time when this is discussed. Now, as a wholesaler, are you acting as a broker? No. Let's go ahead and put that to rest if somebody wants to discuss that, because I see that brought up all the time.
Right.
Anybody that's ever wholesaled, when you wholesale one property and you have your buyer there, you say, hey, is this all you're looking for? Or where else do you buy?
Yep.
What is your other criteria? What is specifically your criteria? Because sometimes you don't actually know. Like, you throw something out there and Jordan says, I'll take it. Well, did I nail your criteria? Or was this just hey, we stumbled into this? You want to build that relationship.
Sure.
Because lead gen's important, but we talked about that. That's step one. But you have to have somebody to sell the property to. And so this is almost just as important as lead gen, because I'll be honest with you, I get a ton of people that reach out to me on a weekly basis that are like, I can't sell this property, and it's got good numbers, and then we have to help them.
Sure.
A ton of people. And I think what's also really important to remember is, like, going back like 2 steps, those people that, you know, you're using or utilizing the Bonehead, I get a lot of them that like have issues with it, you know, like they don't want to do that. And what's interesting to me is that, you know, I always want to encourage them, like, you just because, you know, there's a good working relationship there, like, take it as an opportunity. I think that so many of them, and then so many people like in the position to be able to help them and add value to them in the ways that you're addressing, you know, they just don't explain it well enough. Like, take it as an opportunity. Like, we usually get like people that want to do that are very green, very, very,
Sure.
very, very, very green. And it's like, you know, sometimes it's difficult because it's like, okay, like you were saying earlier, you're going to have to tell me a little bit more what you're bringing to the table. Because if it's not bringing a deal to the table, and it sounds really, really, really harsh, but it's kind of like, I don't have time to, you have to differentiate. I don't have time to teach you everything. But
Right.
if we can create that, you know, seek it as an opportunity to learn what we do, because I know that, like, none of us are reinventing the wheel in real estate investing, but I think that everybody does it a little bit differently. Going back to, again, the portion where we're talking about, you know, the strengths and how big your team is and what you're utilizing. I don't know 2 people's businesses that look the same, and I know a lot of investors, you know, so.
Yeah.
So this is I think a Propelio TV first. Kelly Smith wrote, seducing the gatekeeper is great. That's a meteorite nugget.
Whoa.
We created a whole new nugget.
That is an honor. We should get Jordan a shirt.
Exactly. We have fire nuggets. We have golden nuggets. Now Trey has to create the meteorite nugget.
Trey, where you at?
That's pretty cool.
Meteorite nugget. We should get like a shirt.
You came all the
for
way
Jordan.
from Billings, Montana to create the meteorite nugget.
I was on a mission, and
And it is accomplished.
So let's go back to, you know, seducing the gatekeeper. We talked about how important that is to make that the reciprocal relationship. I also think here on leveraging the Bonehead, it's also the same thing. I'll use an example of what we do. Anytime a wholesaler brings us a property, I make sure that I post about it on social media, tag that wholesaler, and tell people, hey, I got this amazing deal. I'll use an example, local example, Vince Russell. I got this great deal from Vince Russell. You need to join his buyers list and tag his business. To someone like Vince, he's now looking at it saying, okay, let me get this straight. Sold the property that I needed to sell. I made money. And then RJ just tagged me in a post.
Yeah.
And I have people now liking my post and joining my buyers list. That's where you make it reciprocal on the other side of business. I mean, is that kind of something that you agree with?
I do, yeah.
I mean, I think it's so important. The relationships are so important, and it's so critical that you make sure that you're always taking care of everybody in your business. So, that being said, we're going to take a short break, jump to commercials. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to please ask any questions. We got Jordan Stanley Payne here all the way from Montana. Came into town early before the Kingdom Connect here in Dallas, just for today to do this for you guys and to answer any of y'all's questions. So we'll be right back after these messages. Hey guys, welcome back to Titanium Tuesdays on Propelio TV. I'm RJ, that's Cassie. We're sitting down with Jordan Stanley Payne from the Kingdom. He's in town for the Kingdom Connect this weekend. Myself and Cassie are going to be speaking. We got Quentin Flores coming up from San Antonio. Todd Fleming will be there.
Yeah.
I finally get to meet Todd.
He's real small.
He is?
He's
a
a small
baseball
deal.
player. This does
Right?
not surprise me. But it's going to be a great time. He's got rented out some massive mansion up in
I was
in
so
Dallas,
looking at
and,
that on
you know,
online.
I hope to not embarrass myself too much for an hour. So, first question we got here, Daniel Moore says, "What are your thoughts on the doctor?" You have any clue what he's talking about?
Dr. Matt Motel? I don't know.
I have no clue.
We have no clue.
Are we talking
But
about
he's
Doctor?
the boss man, so I posted.
Is that
Well,
Dr.
Daniel, we
Who?
don't know if it's Dr. Matt Motel.
I've got zero thoughts on because I have no idea what that means.
There you
I'm
go.
sorry.
Sorry about that. So, anyways, moving on. You know, I'm
Don't
looking forward to
clarify.
this weekend. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a great time. The thing that I appreciate the most is that, you know, you reached out to me, you asked me to speak at it, and you're allowing me to come in and speak what I feel comfortable about, but it's not a presentation where I'm going to be speaking
Right.
to the people there. It's going to be a conversation. And I'm looking forward to that from the aspect of, a lot of times I don't know what people want to hear. I mean, it's like on this show. I don't really know. I love the Q&As. Christopher Boyd said I need to say something to make you smile. Are you excited to be here?
So my younger brother, Micah, if you're watching this, I love you, man. My younger brother, a couple years ago, we were drinking or something like that, and popped me in the face with a painting extending rod and broke my tooth.
Oh.
So I normally don't. Maybe it's an image thing, but I normally don't have the big smile because my tooth got broken.
Well, actually, it's just because we don't have any PBR here for you.
There we go. There we go.
We actually should have had that out
Dang.
for everybody to see.
Just
So
a
underprepared.
If you've
case.
ever watched any of Jordan's live videos, there's usually an appearance of a PBR
Yeah.
there. So all right, let's get back into real estate investing, and we're talking about organic market domination.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about seducing the gatekeeper. Then we talk about leveraging the bonehead. Let's move on to the third aspect of this. What is that?
So I'm going to finish up the Boneheads with another polarizing statement. Specifically, in my real estate business specifically, I've never done a bandit sign. I've never door knocked. I've never gone down to the courthouse and pulled a file. I don't send out mailers. I don't do direct. I don't do any of that. So a lot of people, the whole fake guru thing, well, what the hell do you do?
Right.
Right? You know, you're not really operating a business. And to a lot of those people, I say, you've got to become the CEO. We talked about that on
Yep.
your podcast. You've got to become the CEO and operate a business rather than doing the biatch work.
Right.
Right. So it's not that we don't do any of that. We've found out our time is best spent building relationship and doing other things in our business.
Yep.
So the boneheads, or the people that I'm working with, they know I call them boneheads. It's not
Right.
They really do operate the lifeblood of our marketing system. The third aspect, and kind of the final aspect of what I teach a lot of people, is copywriting. And copywriting, a lot of people think like the copyright infringement laws. Is really not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the art of how you communicate to a motivated seller, or
Okay.
even to a motivated a buyer. And that really goes a lot deeper in how we talk to people. I like to put up a picture of a very attractive young woman and a very old woman. Would you talk to these two women exactly the same?
No.
The younger one that's maybe our age, maybe there's different slang or different things that we'd reference, maybe different TV shows, etc.
Right.
The older gal, you would talk to her radically different. So when it comes to marketing, a lot of people in real estate, they send the exact same message blankly across the board, whether it's probate, pre-foreclosure, tax delinquent, tired landlord. They're using the exact same language for all of them, but they're radically different people.
Right.
So I don't talk to people the same way. So a big part of copywriting and what I've been teaching people is understanding how to create an avatar and understand who you're talking to, because it's going to be radically different person to person.
And it's not. It goes even further from just your marketing.
Yeah.
But also, once the lead, you've contacted that lead, and how you're negotiating the deal, understanding what their problem is and how to solve it. This is actually going to be, just forewarning everybody, this is going to be something that I talk about this weekend at the
Nice.
Kingdom. I tried to help myself, but also tested the Kingdom out. I have a property that we're wholesaling in Birmingham, Alabama. I posted it in the Kingdom Connect, and I said, somebody buy this. We're selling it for $32,000. It's rented out for $650 a month. It's a great property. So I posted in there, hey, do this. Now I know you guys teach sub-twos, seller financing. This is what you're attempting to get out of the sellers. The problem is, have that avatar.
Yeah.
They needed to create an avatar of me.
I don't think they nailed it.
No.
I don't
What
think
was
they
my
nailed it.
need? What was my need? My need was to wholesale it, to get rid of it. They all wanted me to owner finance it.
Yep.
If I'm going to owner finance this property, I am going to do it for the maximum amount to the end buyer. I'm
Yeah.
not going to owner finance it to you so then you can turn around and owner finance it for more or rent it for. No, if I'm going to put the money into it, I'm going to keep it. My need, I want $5,000 wholesale fee. That's what I want. Make that happen for me.
Yeah.
And so it goes further than just the marketing. It's all the way across the board. It starts at marketing, but you have to have it across the board to solve
sure.
problems. So Lawrence Fuller says, hijacking sellers/buyers' mind, cater to their problem, market to their specific problem, #copywriting.
My
That
man.
guy listens to you.
He does.
He went through the market domination thing.
There you go. So and you know what? I don't know how long ago he went through that, but I've been watching Lawrence for a while. He's local here. The dude has taken off, you know. And so I remember talking to Lawrence a couple years ago, and at the time, he had a ton of questions, and now it's funny. I'm looking forward to like sitting down and learning
Yeah.
from him.
He's,
That's how this works.
he's a baller.
Yeah. So let's dive more into copywriting. So let's be specific here. You're talking about the different ways that you need to communicate to a probate compared to a tired landlord. Use some examples there of how you make it different.
So I really recommend people think before they send out mailing, which is, I know, a crazy concept, but understand how you're marketing and where you're marketing to. If it's to a probate, I tell people spend 1 hour writing out an avatar. And an avatar is basically, who am I talking to? What do they believe? What do they not believe? What bad information do they have? What lies have they been given, or what lies have they heard, etc. So if I was talking to a probate, I would approach them radically different than a tired landlord. I would sit down and I would write out, man, if I was in probate, I just lost somebody I loved.
Right.
I'm probably pissed. I'm probably scared, right? I'm probably frustrated, and I probably feel like I'm getting taken advantage of.
Right.
My kids want the property and they want me to do this. My neighbor wants to buy it. Somebody's telling me to talk to a real estate agent, So I think of all of that before I try to communicate with that person. What misbeliefs do they have? All of this different stuff makes up copywriting an avatar. So now when I speak to them, it's radically different than how I would speak to somebody, a landlord.
Right.
And I think a lot of people miss the boat because they have a status quo yellow letter or something, postcard, and they send the same message to every single person, and I think they miss the boat.
Well, a lot of times those pieces of direct mail aren't even unique to their company. A lot of times it's just a straight template from the provider, the mail service. The other thing about this is that, when you are drafting that avatar and you're coming up with what you need to do or how you want to communicate to these people, you're now almost training yourself on how you need to discuss this property with them. And also the different forms of marketing. You're putting yourself in their shoes and thinking about, if I'm in probate, am I really going to call a bandit sign on the corner that says,
No.
we buy houses cash? I don't know if that's like the first thing, and I think that's why a lot of times people do reach out to realtors.
Yeah.
Because they feel like a realtor is going to take care of them. They're professional.
It goes back to that perception I was talking about and how marketing goes in trends. Like, guys, I'm not joking. If you've been saying the same thing as everybody else in your marketplace for the last 33 years,
Right.
I'm telling you, it's being seen as a scam.
Gotcha.
So if you're wondering why your marketing isn't being effective, and if you wonder why, man, I keep on buying that list, and I keep on sending out this letter, and it's not working. So,
Do you know this guy?
Hey.
Hey, let me scooch this over.
Can we get him on camera here? There
Do
we
you need
go.
me to
Nice.
squeeze? I'll squeeze in.
Oh, we're good, I think.
So who is this guy coming in out of nowhere?
Hey, Jordan, good to see you, buddy.
What's up, man?
Everything all right?
I know this guy.
So I'm one of Jordan's business partner, Ed Pugh. We help Jordan with the kingdom.
I think you've been on here before.
I have,
Does
yeah.
it look a little bit different than?
In person, last time I got to do it by Zoom or Skype. I don't know
Yeah.
what we used, but seeing in person, it's real. I wasn't sure if Ryan really even had a studio. So
No.
Well, this is cool, man.
fake
Thanks for
studio.
joining us.
hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So right now we're talking about copywriting, and we're breaking down Jordan's theories on organic market domination.
Perfect.
So we'll throw you to the wolves.
I've learned everything I know about it from Jordan, so I think you're learning from the expert, man.
Which is awkward because I learned everything about it from Ed. So,
So we're not-
It's kind of the blind leading the blind here. We
Right.
really don't know. We
Right.
don't know.
So you're coming in from Charlotte, North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. You came in early for the Kingdom Connect this
For sure,
weekend.
yeah.
Are you going to be joining us tonight?
Absolutely.
you go.
When we started looking at calendars and saw that I call it the Propelio event
That's
too,
what
so
everybody
I
calls
don't,
it, yeah.
I don't know, like,
I think you just need to change the
I think
name,
we just need
Ryan.
to change it, but I run a meetup that's not any of the same names that we use for marketing purposes either,
Right.
so I get it. But yeah, when we started looking at the calendar and knew we could be at the event, that was definitely a priority for us. So we're
That's
excited
awesome.
to be there. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're watching this right now, Jordan's going to be there, Ed's going to be there. I will be there emceeing. We're going to have Sean Whalen, Steve Cook, Grant Kemp's going to be on stage tonight. So it's going to be a pretty awesome event. It's been a while. When was the last time we had an event? November? So it's been a while
I'm gonna be
as
there
well.
too.
Cassie's gonna be there. Yeah.
Cassie will
you
be
may,
there.
You may not have heard it, but Cassie's gonna be there. Yeah. Special guests.
Who? Ed? You get to be there on stage tonight as well.
That's
Jordan
news.
didn't want to do it.
Oh,
you
there.
go.
Well, there we go.
I
I,
check it
I got
out.
delegated too. So
So that's
you guys were talking about teamwork earlier,
Yeah,
right? You were talking
there
about
you go.
teamwork. So what do we do? Hey, whatever we got to do. So
There you go.
it's
So,
perfect.
guys, if you're watching this right now, obviously, we've got some big time players from across the country up here with us right now. We'd love to answer any questions that you have. We're talking about marketing, and I thought you brought up a great point. Like, as a real estate investor, why do we not spend more time learning how to be a better marketer? And I think
Yeah.
you really broke down some very specific steps here on how you can actually be a better marketer, from seducing the gatekeeper to leveraging the boneheads and now copywriting. Do you have any kind of final thoughts before we move on the copywriting side of things?
Not really.
I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but again, I want to just take it a little bit further from not so much specifically on the marketing itself, like on a yellow letter or direct mail, but also what form of marketing you choose for the motivated seller itself. Whether it be Actually, I get this happened at an Investor Fuel one time, which is a mastermind that we're a part of. Mike Hambright runs. It was our first time there. I don't know any of these people. All I know is they're big time players, right? Someone talks about, do Facebook ads work? And I'm like, hell yeah, Facebook ads work. I'm like, Cassie and I live in homes that we got from Facebook ads. So I didn't know it at the time, but this big time guy that does like 400 wholesales a year, he's like, Facebook ads don't work, flat out. And I was like, well, this is kind of awkward. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. But at the end of the day, what we realized and the consensus that we came to was Facebook ads don't work for what he's going after. Facebook ads work for what we were going after, which were newer homes that had some equity, but not enough to be a wholesale deal. They could be a wholesale, an owner finance, a rental property, things like that. And so that's where, going back to the avatar and the copywriting side of things, that's where it can make a big difference. Kelly Smith wrote us a novel.
We love you, Kelly.
Y'all are really hitting the nail on the head. It doesn't matter how many mailers you send out if they are junk or too bland like everyone else's. Take the time to make them clear, concise, and relatable to the person you're mailing. My house is in an area being flipped quite a bit, so we get letters and postcards often. Some make no sense. Some mailers are so busy, can't figure out what they want from me. Some come across like legal letters, and others are just bad English. And you know what's funny? There are people out there that teach you to make them look ugly.
Brilliant.
Like with the emojis and the bad...
Like the asterisks and underline and all kinds of madness.
That's the first direct mail we ever did, by the way.
Yeah.
Someone informed us that this really gets their attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess how many leads I got out of that?
All of them.
All of the leads. Well, what's really
nothing.
interesting to me about like this entire concept and what I love about it is that, you're taking what we have always put into, I always go back to like, I always go back to the psychology of it all, right? Just because that's my instinct. But what we do that's successful. So like when it was just me and RJ and we're just getting started in the blind leading the blind kind of situation, like what worked for us, and it was always getting in that room. If you, you always think about that concept. If you can get at the kitchen table, you can do exactly what you said, which is you are building a relationship with that seller. And it's just the same thing. Like I don't talk to my mom the same way I talk to my best friend or the way I'm going to talk to you. They're different relationships. And if you are actually, and I love that about what you're saying, is like if you actually apply the same exact processes and principles and actions that you have when you're successfly selling to marketing, it's almost mind-blowing that more people don't do it.
Can we use the R word on here?
Yes.
A lot of people, kind of to your point, a lot of people try to market rape sellers, and they force this preconceived idea that's my whole problem with I buy houses cash.
Right.
Like, what if I don't want to sell cash? What if I'm an educated investor and I'm conscious about taxes because I just had a great meeting with my CPA,
Right.
and they're like, dude, you're going to get killed on this. So I think a lot of people, especially in the real estate and especially wholesalers, they try to force this preconceived idea of this is what it needs to look like. And that's my biggest thing, and that's why myself and Ed, we teach constantly. It's like, don't say, I buy houses cash. Everyone thinks that's like the solve-all. Oh, cash is just the best thing. But without having a conversation with that person, you really don't know what their situation is.
Right.
Maybe cash doesn't really do anything. Maybe they're just sick of that $780 payment a month.
So going back to the example of the property in Birmingham that I posted in the Kingdom.
Yep.
There was someone in the group, and I'm drawing a blank on what his name was. He's newer, just signed up. He tried that with me. He hit me with like 4 or 5 questions where he was trying to get down to my need. The problem was what I called the moment of truth. I explained to him exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
He hit me with what he wanted, not what I needed.
Irrelevant what he wants.
Right.
Irrelevant.
So Tyler Andrews says, are there any good copywriting books, podcast? Are there any good podcasts about this, Jordan?
No.
I think there's at least one. What's the name of it?
I think it's something about the mafia. I don't know.
Mine is Multifamily Mafia. Just at 100,000 downloads. Thank you, everybody. Ed and his brother Taylor have a great one.
Kings and Queen City. Yep, that's our brand. I wouldn't say we're experts in this space specifically, but we definitely have some content that's worth listening to, I
Right.
guess, you know.
There's this titanium one.
Yeah,
that you wanna
there's
hear
something
about.
Guys.
About a
I don't know
vault.
about the titanium vault. You're watching this, so it's just as good. So, Brian Pont says, "Can you explain what it means to market to marketers?"
Ed /
Specifically
Jordan.
to you guys.
In other words, Cassie and RJ, you need to shut it.
Right.
Shut it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I think he's just I don't know where the quote came from. I don't know if I said that or not. Well, probably. I was probably drinking and it's like, hey, you guys need to market to marketers. Basically, my time is not best spent marketing, right? I mean, I market, but I use marketers to market. So I do think I said that, now that I think of it.
You're smart.
But I don't realize it until afterwards, right? So rather than marketing for motivated sellers, I'm marketing to find marketers that are marketing to motivate. It's like Inception, man. It's like a dream within a dream. So rather than trying to go and source 10,000 motivated sellers, I'll just go find 10 people that are marketing to 10,000.
There you go.
It's gonna cost me 10 times less money. It's quicker. It's faster. I can easily build more relationship with 10 people rather than 10,000. And again, it's warm or even hot lead, and it's way more effective.
And I'm just gonna add a layer on top of that, just because again, I'm like the weirdo and I'm like the chameleon, but
We
I'm
still
also
love you.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm lovable. But one of my strong suits is nurturing. And that's why I love doing exactly what you're saying. I love to nurture a good relationship, be it whomever. Like both RJ and I were on the phone with a specific new relationship that we formed in our business yesterday. Like I swear he spent 40 minutes talking to her and then turn around, right, same thing. And it's just natural for us because that's how you build good relationships. That's what we do. And like that aspect of it is my favorite part because you're building a business with a stronger foundation if you're consistently able to actually nurture your relationships.
I mean,
I agree.
I'm just going to put this out there. This is how excited I am about this, okay? What I have learned so far in today's interview is that in all the different branches that we have, Hawaii, Alaska, Ohio, Alabama, all these places to where right now I have a concern about the amount of marketing dollars that I'm going to spend per market.
Sure.
Because I don't know if what works in Dallas-Fort Worth is going to work in Anchorage, Alaska, or Honolulu, Hawaii.
And like you said,
compared
it's
to
always
Birmingham, Alabama. It's like,
changing.
even in a market that you would think is just normal, Birmingham, Alabama, I'm learning out is like weird as crap. So
Super weird.
it's like we're always learning these things. And what I've figured out today is that I can go to each one of those partners and say, go build a relationship with a title company and a property management company in the next 7 days. And I want to have a sit down call with the property manager and tell them exactly how we're going to solve those problems for them based off of our experience in this market.
Nailed it. Yeah.
I mean,
I'd like to throw in on that one. When we were in Phoenix last week, we didn't see a singular bandit sign. And if you just drive around DFW, every single corner there's 3 to 5.
right.
Right.
So it depends what market you're in.
Absolutely. So the next question or statement we have is from Chris Chavez. Says, consistency is the key to marketing. Facebook is a great platform simply because we know people are there.
Sure.
So, and I think that's kind of Jordan's point across the board, is understand your avatar, what you're going after.
I want to, I don't want to call it a bold statement, but every single time I jump on Facebook, and I think you're probably the same way, I always see a new CRM, a new ringless voicemail, a new gadget, which I love my gadgets, but I think it confuses the hell out of people that are getting involved in real estate.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys remember that beacon where you could like go hide it at Walmart and it would send a text message? Remember that?
Yeah.
Fad. Boom.
Right.
I haven't heard about that shit in like 6 months, right?
I know, like at one point, you see it and you're like, "That's actually kind of cool if it works." And then before I even
Until it
looked
happened to
into
you,
it,
and then you're like, that's weird.
So I think there's a lot of things that pop up all the time that confuse the heck out of people, and I think probably primarily our message in the kingdom has been stop buying into every single fad and every single new CRM and ringless this and ringless that, and focus on just building relationships. And if you do that, the quality is going to be better. A lot of times the volume's better. And I mean, I don't have this big fancy CRM and all these different gadgets. I just have the relationships, man.
So Bob asks, where do you get the information you need to include in an avatar?
It really depends. I mean, if you understand what the term, and back to probate, if you understand what probate means, right? Somebody just recently died. You just have to start saying, okay, I'm going to pretend that, Julia, I hope you're still not watching this. I'm going to pretend that my wife, Julia, died.
Julia.
But,
He said, later.
what you have to ask yourself, what would I be thinking? What would I be feeling? We've got real estate involved. In this case, we have multiple portfolios in addition to multiple companies and our personal residence. What would I be feeling if I put myself in that person's shoes? And that's my point of writing out what goes on. I like to I'll Google sad old person or divorcee. Like if you have an oh god, if you have an image, and I just use Google Images, right? If you have an image, write directly to that person, and that's really effective for me. As far as anything technical, probate, we know somebody passed away, there's probably real estate involved. Pre-foreclosure is another good one. Tired landlord, I'm tired.
I'm sure if Julia passed away, 6 days later you want to get a pre-printed yellow letter with goofy emojis all over it, right?
Absolutely.
That's his point. Don't do that. And
Don't be that
hopefully,
person.
Julia says,
Hopefully
hopefully
you
you feel sad.
I would be very sad.
Well, but the gatekeeper concept. So the gatekeeper concept here is really important. So then, if you're someone like Jordan and you've just gone through this, who are the people that someone like that is going to reach out to?
Right.
Right. So I don't know. We don't play in this space a lot, but just talking it out loud is okay, are there funeral home directors who might be a reliable source of reference for those people? Are there there's a whole series of if we really went through this,
right.
Who are people who they've reached out to, and then who might have an ability to reliably give them a person to talk to.
Right.
Right. And it's not they're going to sell every one of those to Jordan. It's you want to make a really good point. Hey, I only want to talk to the people who need my help.
I would assume a probate attorney would be a good one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that would be if probates were the thing that I wanted to target, that would be the gatekeeper that I would go to and say, hey, and I don't know if that's crossing legal boundaries or something, but
No,
that's why you ask.
That's right.
I don't know if it's.
Well, and state laws can differ here.
Right.
In some states, fiduciaries can give referrals. In some states, they can't. So it's really important for you to just talk with people
Right.
in your market.
The worst thing that could happen is I call a probate attorney and say, hey, I want to be a solution to some of your clients' problems, and they say, no, you can't do that. Okay, very good. Move on to the next gatekeeper
Absolutely.
that I come up with.
But wait, a real estate agent can? So that's the whole
Right.
point. And back to full circle this whole thing around to the gatekeeper and to solving business problems rather than trying to mass market. That probate attorney, if you went to him and said, look, dude, you're going to look like a freaking rock star because you're going to have multiple solutions for the probate people that you're working with.
Right.
And not only that, but you can save them 6% on a real estate commission. They don't have to fix up the property. A lot of agents are going to be like, hey, you need to fix the roof and this and this and this
Right.
in order for us to get it on the market. Talking to that probate attorney, you're saying, dude, you're going to be the rock star probate attorney because you're going to have all these different solutions for people. What do you think?
Absolutely. So that being said, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we'll have final thoughts. Love to answer some more Q&A. Got Jordan Stanley Payne here and Ed Pugh, also myself and Cassie. And we'll be right back after these messages. All right, guys, welcome back to Titanium Tuesdays here on Propelio TV. So we're going to just jump right back into Q&A. so we can get the most out of Jordan and Ed while they're here. Matt Smith says, do you track KPIs if you're not spending marketing dollars?
I personally do not. Just being honest with you, I know that some of the people that we're working with, some of our wholesalers and marketers are, and I really don't track KPIs. I track people. I track results, but just not in that traditional sense.
What about you?
So we also don't market in that way. Our advice to people within the kingdom who are pursuing these strategies is absolutely you have to track KPIs.
Right.
Gotcha.
You need to track, use different phone numbers or whatever it is to do A/B testing about what's effective.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure, if you're spending money, you need to know whether you're getting returns on that. Todd's one who's talked about some of his campaigns in the past and had direct experience with that. But we're very heavy relationship people, so we don't do any active marketing like that either.
There you go.
So here's my question to y'all, because this is a thing that has been a recent topic with us as well, because we're kind of a bit of a combination of these things. So it's super important for us to track certain things, because there's no way we can do all this in other markets any possible way and keep sane. But there's also we're very naturally, and we're from the beginning of our business very much people would ask us forever. We'd be like, we spent $2,000 in marketing this year, but our time and our relationships has always been vital to our business, the lifeblood of our business, if you will. Do you guys budget? This has been a recent topic for RJ and I. How do you actually budget or track your time? Since you said relationships, but this is something that Trevor Mock has inspired me to do for a long time. But I didn't really think about it in these terms until recently. We actually should budget our time and track.
Time building relationships.
Yeah, you're both of your time's worth well over $1,000 an hour.
Right.
So when you look at it from that point, well, yeah.
Right.
How productive is that hour?
Yeah.
What are you, for us it's been a big topic, how much on branding, or how much are we spending on, how much are we spending in our business? How much are we spending building relationships, training people, working on systems, that sort of thing, and just making sure we have a really good balance, for everybody on our team and all of our people, and consistently able to still do what we do. I think it's so important if, going back to Matt's question, KPIs are super important because it tells you how your systems are working. But at the same time, I think not enough people think about that in the relationships term. What are you getting in return on your time in those relationships?
So to take it a little bit further on Matt's question, do we track KPIs in this regard? Absolutely.
Right.
So in our CRM, we have it where we track a lead source. And if that lead source is a wholesaler, it goes down with that wholesaler's name. And then we track how much we pay that wholesaler over the course of a year. And then we look back on, okay, how much time did we invest in that wholesaler compared to how much money did he make us and how much money did we pay him? And I'm going to tell you right now, it is always one of the best ROIs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can't compare. So Greg Cook wrote, older people don't use the internet. So I think that's kind of going back to the Facebook ad comment that I made earlier, but also knowing your avatar. If I am going to specifically target the elderly or an older person for whatever reason, the first thing I'm not going to think of is a Facebook ad.
Yeah, so I don't think we've even really mentioned marketing on Facebook to old people. I don't think that's really been brought up.
Right.
I would also challenge that. I know a lot of old people on social media. I personally choose not to market that way. We'll post in some different local Facebook groups here and there, and there's a lot of elderly people. Specifically, am I running Facebook ads to elderly people? No, and I don't think that's probably not the most effective way to reach them. We'd probably do direct mail or even try to go sit down with them.
Right. So anyways, guys, if y'all have any more questions, we'd love to get them answered. Unfortunately, I am going to have to wrap this interview up here in the next couple minutes because I do have to go real estate and I have to evict somebody today.
There you go.
It's a sad thing that I have to do this, but you don't pay, you got to go.
That's right.
Goodbye.
That's right.
So that, Bob says grandma's on Facebook
That's
every
right.
day. That is absolutely right.
Well, and the great thing about, like, if you are going to just try to capitalize on that specific niche when it does come to older people that are on Facebook, they're usually really, like, how do you say this? Gullible on Facebook, how they carry themselves through it. I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for.
I will say, we have picked up multiple sub-2s from elderly people from Facebook ads. So I will just throw that out there. So, that being said, let's have some final thoughts. Ed, thank you so much for joining us. I know it was kind of impromptu.
Hey,
but,
appreciate you guys
it.
having us here.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the Propelio event tonight.
Yeah.
And looking forward further beyond that, the Kingdom Connect event this weekend. You guys are going to be speaking at it. Thanks so much. We
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Really
What's the best way
excited.
people can follow you, connect with you?
Yeah, we're Kings and Queens City. That's us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, all that stuff. So Kings and
I
Queens
have
City.
to ask, because I don't know a whole lot about Charlotte.
Sure.
But is that like a logo specific for you?
I don't know
or
what
is-
hat I'm wearing. Let me. Oh yeah. So this is one of my favorite local T-shirt companies. It's called the 704 Shop. They're getting a shout out.
There you go.
They have a unique contract with the City of Charlotte to make a branded product for them. So
That's
this happens
cool.
to be the logo for the City of Charlotte.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Jordan, thank you so much for coming,
Yeah,
buddy. What's the
absolutely.
best way people can follow you, learn more about you?
Facebook, just at Jordan Stanley Payne. Instagram, The Kingdom Real Estate. YouTube, I think, is The Kingdom Real Estate as well.
Awesome, man. Any final thoughts before we kick you out of here?
Question everything when it comes to marketing. Don't just do things because you saw it on YouTube or heard about it on a podcast. Ask yourself, am I being unique? Am I standing out? And am I really making an impact, or am I following blindly what everyone else is doing? That's it.
Well,
man.
speaking of following
Love it.
blindly, a lot of people have said a lot of things about you.
No.
And you know what? You came on here today. You dropped some of the best golden nuggets. You even created a whole new nugget, the meteorite nugget, which
power.
Trey's still working on over there.
Done yet?
You done yet, Trey? He's over there texting. He's not even working on it.
Trey.
But
How
man, I
dare
appreciate
you.
you taking the time to come in early, come in the studio. I know that it was very important for you to come in here to get this done. You're going to be at the Propelio event tonight. Looking forward to the Kingdom Connect this weekend. It's going to be an awesome time.
So
If you guys
excited.
would like to join, all of us will all be there. Please reach out to Jordan. Maybe we can find a way to fit you in. Can we do that?
Sure.
I'm sure we can figure
Sure.
that out.
So
sure.
we'll find a way.
can share my seat.
That being said, we've got the Propelio event tonight. We're officially renaming it today on Titanium Tuesday. It's officially the Propelio event. Sean Whalen's going to be there, Steve Cook, Grant Kemp. Apparently Ed's going to be on stage.
All of us will be there. I'm not going to be on stage.
Cassie will be there.
Cassie's going to be there though.
I'm going to be there.
I'm
cheering,
gonna be-
cheering on my partner.
I'm going to be on stage pretending to be Ryan Harper tonight. And but that being said, all of this is not possible without Propelio. So check out Propelio.com. Awesome guys. They help us all out in the real estate investing industry. Lead lists, pulling MLS comps, investor websites, all kinds of great stuff. So check out Propelio.com. And also, Cassie and I, we're Titanium Investments. We buy houses all across the country. We wholesale houses all across the country. So please reach out if you need help with any properties that you're either stuck with or you need help selling or wholesaling. We'd love to help you. Cassie, any final thoughts?
Just super excited. We've got an action-packed week.
We
This is
do.
kicking it off, man. I'm just pumped.
It's not
Hope
many-
to see all y'all there.
Yeah, not many days you get to sit down with Ed Pugh, Jordan Stanley Payne. I got a hug from Ryan Harper, and I get to meet Sean Whalen and Steve Cook tonight. So pretty awesome day.
It's a great day.
It is pretty awesome. All right,
We're
guys.
picking somebody.
Tune in tomorrow for Grant Teach Me Something. We'll see you all tonight.
Hey everybody, I'm Ryan with Propelio. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. Turn on those notifications and stick around for more. We have tons of content like this all over our channel. So if you want to learn more about real estate investing, stick around, watch Propelio TV, and we'll see you later.